today guys, Brandon here with Heroic Athletics. We're gonna go through the PAILs and rails for external shoulder rotation with a TRX, or you can also use rings if you have this as well. TRX, you just need an anchor point, whether it's on the ceiling or on a pull-up bar or anything like that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up. Now, PAILs and rails is it's made or popularized or taught by the FRC system. Also Kinstretch, it's popular with that. Now this setup is great for either a warm-up, if you struggle with external rotation, if you play any sorts of throwing sport, or golf is another one. Any sort of sport that involves throwing. It's also very good for CrossFitters who maybe want to increase their Olympic lifting, their snatch. Having that external shoulder rotation and stability within that external shoulder rotation is very important. So there's a lot of there's actually not a lot of moving pieces, but there's a lot of things to think about to execute this movement properly. So I'm gonna start with again, rings, TRX, doesn't matter. You're gonna set up with your strap. And what I'm gonna do here is I want to make sure that I keep this elbow in line with the shoulder, and that imagine like there's a pipe going through this elbow, through my arm, through the shoulders, through both shoulders, and out the other side. So what I don't want to do is close this arm into adduction, and I don't want to be too far into abduction this way. I want to make sure that I'm like pretending there's a post going through my elbow, through the arm, through the shoulder, out the other shoulder to the other side. The other thing I want to make me think about for making sure I'm properly getting this movement is I'm not bending at the spine. A lot of people will, in order to increase this range of motion, they'll actually cheat by bending at the spine here, okay? So I want to make sure that I keep the rib cage down, belly tight, and I personally, with my athletes and myself, I like to stagger the steps. So if I'm using my left hand or working my left shoulder, I'm putting my left foot backwards. So from here, what I'm gonna do is PAILs and rails starts with a passive stretch. So as I've been talking, I've actually been stretching this, and I wanna make sure that I'm in my end range. So I can find that end range by just keep kind of shuffling forward until I can't shuffle forward anymore without cheating through the body, okay? So once I'm at that end range, I'm gonna hold that for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, okay? During this time, I should feel a stretch through those external shoulder rotators in the back of the shoulder. And PAILs and rails is a isometric contraction. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to do a movement, but visually on the camera, you're not gonna see any movement, okay? This is isometric, means I'm working, but nothing's actually moving. The force I'm putting into things is not gonna exceed the weight or the resistance. So this strap is giving me resistance, and the force I'm putting into it is not gonna exceed it. So what I mean by that, I hold the passive stretch for about 90 seconds. Then I'm going to think like gas pedal down. Okay, so I'm out here, I'm gas pedaling down. I'm gonna gradually ramp up that effort. Then I'm going to think pull back. So I'm trying to increase that external shoulder rotation during the rails portion. So I've held this stretch for 90 seconds. I'm going to gradually try and flatten my hand forward this way, keeping the whole body stable and still. So I'm not cheating. Again, tendency is people will lean the whole body forward, or they'll twist or turn in order to, again, gas pedal down. So I want to make sure nothing moves. I've held this for 90 seconds, and I start at 50% effort, and then I like to coach every 5 seconds over the course of 30 seconds. I'm gonna ramp up that effort level to 100%, okay? So I'm gas pedaling down with this arm, and again, you just start to see a bit of a shake, okay? I'm not actually moving any part of the body. All the work's happening in the shoulder, and specifically more in the back of the shoulder, to press that hand down. And I'm gradually ramping up that effort level from 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 every 5 seconds, increasing by 10% until I'm at that 100%, fighting really hard. Then once I've hit that 100%, not relaxing, I'm not resting at all, I'm gonna go straight into 20 to 30 seconds of rails, meaning I'm trying to increase that range. Now you see the slack went through the post, and that's because I've forced more external rotation. So I'm trying to bring the back of my hand towards the back wall behind me without cheating or twisting through the body. Okay, I'm really fighting through that external rotation. If you did see some slack, you see that slack here, what I will like at this point tell my athletes or myself to do, shuffle forward into that newfound range of motion. And then from here, I might do another round of that. I don't have to hold the stretch as long. If I am doing another round, I'm just gonna take a few beats, a few seconds, collect myself, and then go right into my 30 seconds ramp up, PAILs, pressing down, into 20 to 30 seconds rails, kind of pulling back, seeing if I can increase that range of motion. Great mobility movement to ensure that you're actually getting, like I said, that external shoulder rotation, which is great if you're baseball, football, any type of throwing sport. Really, if you care about performance at all, it's definitely something that you need to do. Passive stretching is good. It's going to increase that passive range of motion, and then those isometrics are going to help increase stability and strength in that newfound range, which means you're going to perform better and you're going to be less susceptible, more resilient against injury. Not to say injuries won't happen, but it's going to set you up better long run. So that's all I got for you. Any questions, comments, feedback, drop a comment below or check us out online, heroicathletics.com. Catch you next time.